Or hopefully it won't have to go. Hopefully it won't have to go.
All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to each and
Dr. B, did you freeze? Go ahead. We're live.
All right. Good evening to each and everyone. Today, I want to welcome each and everyone all over the globe. We do have a deep dive. This is an amazing webinar that I would like each and everyone to listen to our presenter. So I would like Dr. Derek to please play the signature tune at the moment before we can proceed. The signature tune, please. Song.
ONPASSIVE. ONPASSIVE, the future of internet.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Derek. We are so pleased for the signature tune. We appreciate you. We do have mindset. That will be Sister Jackie, who is going to be presenting that. But I would like Dr. Derek to please introduce Sister Jackie, if you don't mind, sir. The next speaker.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. All right. Thank you very, very much. Really appreciate it, Brand Ambassador Queen Dr. Benny. Really appreciate the welcome and the introduction thus far. And most definitely, hey, this is a wonderful meeting so far. Lorato Shadari has just graced us with her wonderful, oh, hold on, oh my goodness. Wonderful music that she definitely shared with us. And so at this time, the mindset, very important. The mindset is very, listen, as far as Ashmafare and myself is concerned, really and truly, I believe that the mindset is one of the most important thing that you can actually have, because a lot of people get a lot of money, people win lotto, people come into record deals and basketball and sports and all of those things, but unfortunately a lot of them don't have anything to show. And so very, very importantly, the mindset actually talks about two things. One, the mental, and one, the physical. The physical, real and truly, is the money. Right now, it's the money. And Ashmafare said that is taken care of. But the next thing, the mindset, very hard to take care of. Because if it was easy, would have, you know, almost everybody in the world, you know, would have 95% of people in the world that are wealthy and 5% that is poor. But it's the other way around, because the mindset has to be there. And so therefore, Brand Ambassador Queen Jacqueline L. Warner, entrepreneur by herself, you know, before ONPASSIVE, she has been an entrepreneur. She's a mother of 5, grandmother of 8. Oh my goodness, a young little girl, young lady, and is a grandmother already. I don't know how she do that, but anyway, she's the inspirational speaker this evening. And definitely her inspirational slogan is believe in your dream. Believe in your dream. Host of Real Talk Show, stream live on Facebook. And of course, she is a CEO, data center owner, and she just love helping others. So before anything else, I present to you Brand Ambassador, CEO, data center owner, labs owner, Queen Jacqueline Warner. Take it away.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you so much, Dr. Derek. I appreciate that so much. You know, it's such a, it put a little sting to my name. It makes me, it's worthwhile being alive. So we can be servants of the Most High. Thank you so much. It's a privilege actually to be on our platform. Brand ambassadors, welcome, welcome, welcome. I know we're excited. It's the curtains is about to open and everybody is excited, you know, to get started and opening their businesses and just being awesome business owners. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited too. Thank you, Dr. Benny. Thank you, Dr. Patience, and all the amazing leaders for all that you do every day. And also Dr. T for always inspiring us and putting us in the right mindset. So tonight, I just want to go over, piggyback on what Dr. Derek talked about, mindset. And I just have to say, your mindset is a set of beliefs that shape how you make sense of the world and ourselves. It influences how we think, feel, and behave in any given situation. It means that what you believe about yourself or ourselves impacts our success or failure. And that was taken by Dr. Kenny Baptine. So that's amazing. Our mindset means so much. But tonight I'm going to be talking about the 5 steps in getting started. And I deem them important. It's something you heard before. It's not so much something new, but it's just to refresh, to recap, and put us on the right track. The first step, you got to put God first in all that we do. And we do that by praying in the spirit and in the truth. We got to show love to one another. We have to embrace the fruit of the spirit. And the fruit of the spirit consists, like it says in Galatians 5:22-23, it consists of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. You see how amazing our God is? And it's like, against such things, there is no law. So let us embrace those fruits of the spirits as we take on this journey. You know, as we get all on board, let us remember to love one another, to be helpful, to be kind, to be gentle, you know, to always have good vibes, no negative vibes, no self-doubt, because we are awesome. We are more than conquerors. And so we're not defeated. So we're amazing. Let's remember to always put God first, because without him, nothing goes well. It may seem like it's going well until you hit a stumbling block. So let's put him first in all that we do every day, every minute, every second. Anytime it comes, the thought comes, he comes in our spirit. Let's just give him grace and always be thankful for what he had, this opportunity that he have made us part of through Ashma Father. The next one is the transitioning. Definitely each and every one of us should have already transitioned from our old founders to the OES system and become an affiliate and reading and signing the contract and going to your OConnect, and getting into the marketplace and just enjoying the 14-day trial period. And most of all, attending webinars so it can help you to get the feel of OConnect and enjoy the features that it has. So let's make sure, if you have friends or family members who has not transitioned as yet, please, because the time is so closely ahead for the curtains to open, and we don't want anyone to be left behind. So let's do our best to help those who find it difficult in transitioning. Number 3, make sure all your pertinent information is recorded and documented in a safe place. And that consists of your founders ID, your OES ID numbers, your emails, your passwords. You know, make sure they are written not only on your phone, but written down in a safe place, because you know Murphy's Law. So let's be obedient and do those things that we need to do, just in case of anything, that you will have them, and you should have them placed aside in a safe place, documented and recorded in a safe place. So let's do that. Number 4, you're gonna need website. You're gonna need your names. You know, even though ONPASSIVE might recommend website names, it's good to have your own name. Self-branding shows self-possession of your business. So go ahead and start, you know, if you don't have them already, make sure you have them ready, not getting ready, but have them ready at hand. So when that time comes, you don't have to wait. Make sure your fees are ready. We had some had 4 years, from 4 years to get it together. Some of us even shorter. But you know what? In all that, we know that we're going to need activation fees. So let's have our monies together. And furthermore, I think engineer might mention that go to the bank and make sure that your daily withdrawal has increased it, just in case you have more than one account. So all those things you need to put in place, so when the time comes, you don't have to be headless and don't know where it is at, and I don't know what I need to do, because everyone is going to be preparing themselves and getting themselves in order. You don't want to feel like you're left out, or no one cares, or no one have time for me. No, the time is now. Take advantage of these opportunities. We're getting free information that we don't have to pay for. That $97 was definitely worth it. So let's get those things together. Last but least is your account number that you will attach to your old wallet. You're going to need to have an account number. Either you're going to open a new one or whatever you're going to do. The time, like I said, is very close. So have your account number that you're going to connect to your old wallet to make your transfers into your account. That is very relevant. You need to have that together. If you have more than one account, you don't have to worry. You just use that one account, because you can transfer from one wallet to the main wallet, so you don't have to worry about that. And I think that's basically it. I don't want to take too much time, because we have some interesting stuff to ahead. So we're going to recap those 5 steps in getting started. Put God first. Number 2, make sure the transition has taken place. You have already become an affiliate. You read your contract and you sign your NDA. I think that comes after. And then going into your OConnect and, you know, your 14-day trial. I think Mr. Ashram Forrest said that he will extend it for 7 more days because of OConnect not being stable as yet. Make sure all the information that I mentioned, your OES, your founders, IDs, your emails, your passwords, and make sure that your alternative emails are also up to date and they are working, and you have identifiers, all these great things that you need to have in place just in case. Murphy's Law, like I said. And make sure you have your website names. You know, it's nothing like having your own name for your website. It's going to be an amazing journey. It's going to be fun. And remember your account number. You know, if you have to visit your bank or whatever, do so. Make sure everything is in place, so when the time comes, you do not be headless, like I said. And remember the fruits of the Spirit. And they consist, like I said, of love, joy, peace, and patience, and kindness, and goodness, and faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. You know, God loves us more, and that's why He sacrificed His only begotten Son because of us, to give us all these fruit of the Spirit, so we can live an abundant life, so we can help others and just embrace this journey that we're on. Okay, so thank you so much for your listening ear. Thank you, Dr. Derek and Dr. Benny and Dr. Patience for allowing me to speak on our platform. And let's enjoy this webinar. It's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Queen Jackie. You know, you always know what to say. Oh, yes, you do. And I would just say magnificent presentation of our inspirational speech. Thank you so much. And then you talk about getting started, right? And the first thing that you said, which is very important and everyone's supposed to know, is we have to put God first, because without him, we will not be here today, this afternoon, this evening. And because of, if it wasn't for God, he sent who? Our visionary to all of us, right? And if it wasn't for that visionary, we will not be here today, this evening, because of the love of humanity that he has for all of us. And you talk about transitioning. Yes, you made sure that you stated that everyone, I know that not everyone has transitioned to our ecosystem, but I pray that they should know the importance of ONPASSIVE in order to transit to the ecosystem. Yes. And most importantly, they need to know that they have to sign NDCA, right? Which is non-disclosure confidential agreement. They have to do that. And as well as the 14 days trial of the O Connect. Thank you so much. And you also stated that we should, our documentation, we should keep it in a safe place. Thank you so much. We appreciate you for that. And then you talk about the account number. I mean, you can either open an account or you can have an old account that you have. It is still okay. And then you say something about website. I just want to thank you so much for what you have done. And we are learning every day. Only the $97 that we have paid, people don't really understand. Thank you, Sister Jackie. We appreciate you. Welcome. We love you. Yes, please. And I just want to let each and everyone know that if you have anything to say, could you please say it after our next presenter? If you have question and answer or comment, please say it. You will raise your hands at the ending of the next presenter. Dr. Derek, could you please? We need, I would like you to send us, like to introduce our next presenter. Thank you. We all love you as well.
Wonderful. All right. Okay. Thank you very much again, Queen Dr. Benny. Really, really appreciate it. Lovely lady. And thank you very much, Queen Jackie Warner, JW. Really appreciate it. Thank you so very much for that mindset. Very important. And so at this time, we just want to bring on Vitel. Everybody know Vitel. Vitel is like a household name inside of DeepDive. Vitel Smart, and he is one of the most prominent leaders that we have here that actually is all over the world with Oh Bless, and he's just Oh blessing everyone. And so these two persons will be introduced by Vitel Smart, and so therefore I will now turn it over to our brand ambassador, King Vitel Smart.
Thank you very much, Dr. Derek. Thank you very much, Queen Jacqueline Warner, for that reminder. Thank you very much, Dr. Benny. How are you doing, my friend? Greetings to all my fellow brand ambassadors. And thank you, Dr. Derek, for the opportunity to be on DeepDive once more. I'm making an introduction this time. I'm here for a very, very, very special reason. To introduce my two dairy farmer friends and working partners, Jeff and Hana Buscigho from the Peach State of Georgia. Yes, these are my two dairy farmer friends who were originally introduced to me by my two mutual brand ambassador friends, also Errol Fletcher and his beautiful wife, Nicole, Dr. Nicole Fletcher. From the very first day Jeff, Hana, and I spoke over the phone, I could see the synergy. I knew right away that God has provided me with two beautiful people in the food industry that I was praying and hoping for. And now here we are as partners, moving forward together with one common objective: the upliftment of humanity by feeding the less fortunate. Tonight, Jeff and Hana will be enlightening us on a very important subject that should be near and dear to all of us. And the subject is food preservation. But before we embark on this subject, let me first tell you a little background about my two friends. Jeff and Hana, their wife and husband team, both brand ambassadors, of course, who have been married for over 15 years, with two beautiful children, two boys, 15 and 11 years old. And as previously noted, they own a dairy farm in the town of Gay, Georgia, where they have been residing for the past 6 years. Jeff was born in the Sunshine State of Florida, in the city of Tampa, which is about an hour drive southwest of Orlando. He is a third-generation dairy farmer and has been in the industry since he was a little boy. Hana, on the other hand, was born in communist Czech Republic. And as she told me, we didn't have a lot to eat while growing up. So food wasting was not an option. Growing up under communism was a very tough ordeal for myself and my family. There was nothing to waste. Meals were prepared at home by my mom. There was no fast food restaurants like we have here in the United States. We are at the end of each working day, and so leftovers food was just placed in a garbage bag and thrown away in the dumpster as garbage. In the Czech Republic, Hana continued, we wasted nothing. My grandmother was always put away the leftovers and did a lot of canning as a way of preserving food back then. That's how we made it, Hana said. For me, just to add a personal note to that, in Jamaica, where I was born, the situation was similar. We didn't have food to waste either. Neither was there any waste. Jeff and Hana are both people persons who love what they do. They are dairy farmers. They love to help. They love to teach. They love to educate. And they love to equip people with the skills and knowledge that God has given them to preserve the present as well as the future generation of dairy farmers. That is why food and nutrition are so important to them as instruments to feed the hunger and the less fortunate as well as helping in the preservation of life. Jeff and Hana, I have made it. We have made joint appearances twice on the OBLES forum with Chris Johnson. The appearance became an instant hit with more hands raised to ask questions than any other previous show, as was told to me by Chris. Our long-term plan is to work and coordinate together as a team in the food industry that I have worked in for several years. And we have one common objective in mind: to work with Mr. Ash Mufari through OBLES to tackle and eradicate the global tragedy of hunger, starvation, and poverty. This is what we plan to do. This is what we intend to do. Hana has a very keen interest in food preservation. She has been doing intensive research in this area for some time now, and has even acquired a freezer drying machine for our own home use and for testing. Tonight, they are here to share their experiences with us. So as we at OBLES get ready to embark on all the various projects, it is our firm belief that food is in the forefront of everything and should be recognized as the #1 item on our agenda. Brand ambassadors, please join me right now in welcoming to the forum my two partners, my two friends, Jeff and Hana Buscigho, who will be educating us about the very important topic of food preservation. Jeff and Hana, take it over, my friends. The floor is yours.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Hope all is well. We want to start by saying, wow, what an honor it is to be on this platform with everybody tonight, all the brand ambassadors. This is amazing. Just sitting here in awe, just looking at everything, and just so thankful to God that we are a part of this, and that what we're about to embark on is going to just be just bigger than big. So without further ado, we'll get started on what we have, this information that we have, compiled. And believe me, we are just at the very, very, very forefront beginning of this type of research. So this is something that my wife just wanted to start doing as kind of a hobby. But then when we started looking at the bigger picture of it, we was talking to Vitel about it, and I said, this could be something that would be very beneficial, not only to feeding less fortunate, but people that get in disastrous situations, storms, hurricanes, whatever, because the fact that this food can be transported without refrigeration. So, and it's ready to go. Some is ready to eat. Some requires a little bit of heating, but we've got a little bit of information here to share with everybody on just some of the facts that we've come up with, and I'll start by kind of briefly just getting into the nutrition side of it. So I'm sure everybody is aware of food preservation. Okay, so we got really there's 4 ways, but we have 3 here that we have some data on. Back in the old days, everybody just froze stuff, put it in a container, stuck it in the freezer.
Well, wait a minute, let me interject. I'm sorry. Back in the days when there was no refrigerator, people actually store things in the cellars in a stand. That's how far I know it went. Okay. So it goes way back to that, but
well, then we move up into maybe the freezers. Mm-hmm. People froze stuff, and then from there, they started canning. So when you look at canning retains about 40% of the nutritional value of the food that's inside the can. Then we move forward to dehydrating. When you start to dehydrate the food, now you can save about 60% of the nutritional value in the food. Okay. But we want to take it a step further. Now we go to freeze drying. Okay. Freeze drying retains nearly all the nutrition in the food that you put through the dryer. So you practically lose nothing on the nutritional side. So the thing about it is, if we could do this on a very, very large scale, imagine the amount of food that we could put up, store in warehouses, because the shelf life on this food is up to about 25 years with no refrigeration. You can store it in your pantry, which to me is mind-blowing. So, you know, and the other thing, I was just reading down here some of my notes, it does not need to be rotated. You don't have to rotate stock as you would like in a grocery store, because you know the old saying, rotate stock, freshness sells. Well, you don't have to do that. It's always fresh. So, you know, you don't have, like I said, you don't have to rotate it, last up to 25 years. Okay. Now we move into some of the benefits. Okay. Some of the benefits you got, which the main thing is creating the perfect emergency food supply. Okay. So now we can have this stuff readily available. When a situation hits, we can send food to the site, and we can actually feed thousands of people, maybe more than that, through one full tractor trailer load. You know, I'm just guessing thousands. It could probably be more than that, because this stuff is so compact. You can put so much in and haul so much more because of the weight limit. There's no weight to it. It practically almost weighs nothing. So can you imagine to where you could probably haul in your tractor trailer, let's say you haul 40,000 pounds, just for numbers. You could probably get 100,000 pounds of freeze dried in there or more, because there's no weight to it. So can you imagine the amount of volume now we can haul for the same amount of money to get to where we got to go? And then shipping overseas, putting it in containers and things like that to where it would need to be, flying it in planes. There's no weight to it. So we wouldn't have any issue in transportation would be not an issue with this kind of product, because there's no weight limit to it, basically. So the other side is, you know, you can preserve all your garden produce. You put that stuff up and freeze dry it. My wife's been freeze drying bell peppers, celery. What else did you do?
Swiss chard.
She just did some Swiss chard, different things.
Yeah. I don't know if you're done or not.
No,
but,
go ahead. Go ahead. Jump in.
So many of you may not know what freeze drying is, and many of you might know what freeze drying is. But freeze drying has been around for really, really long time. I think just past maybe 10 to 15 or 20 years, especially past 5 to 10 years, it really became very popular for a lot of people. And, you know, as I grew up, like Vital said, a lot of the countries that where we come from, you know, we didn't have the luxury of, you know, eating out and things like that. Everything was pretty much cooked from what we have or what we grew, and that was our dinner. And, you know, me growing up, mainly on the weekends in my grandma's, you know, in the mountains, she grew a lot of the vegetable stuff by itself. So I grew up in, like Vital mentioned, not wasting really anything. That's what we have been taught. And I still, you know, to this day, teach my children that way as well, because it's important not to waste food. When you come from place and country when you really didn't have much, and you have to just do or make with what you have, there is no waste. There was no option for us to waste. Leftover, always eating leftovers, always, try to, save or can, or however. My grandma canned a lot of this stuff. She grew abundance of things. So I've learned from her how to preserve and helping her in the kitchen as a young girl. And I think that became really my passion just when I married my husband 15 years ago, and, find out he was a dairy farmer. I really don't know anything about really animals or cattle or anything like that. But I think once we start having our children, I really became really close and began to learn about the industry and the dairy and the cattle, and learn a lot over the 15 years we've been married. I think somewhere down the road, Lord really activate everything that I was taught as well, and he combined it together so we can be this powerhouse, because he's got the dairy background, I've got the canning. I'm really got into nutrition when I was pregnant, actually even before we both were in health, nutrition, diets, and fitness. So, we are all about educating people and teaching people, what to put in their body, what not to put in their body, and why is it so important for our bodies to keep, the good nutrition and food, because we got to take care of our temple. That's what the Bible says. We have to take care of our body, because it's really not our body in the first place. It belongs to the Lord. So anyway, that is just from, what our beliefs are. We try to follow the biblical principle. And so when it comes to freeze drying, like my husband mentioned, going from canning to dehydrating to freeze drying, and I've done it all. And I've done canning, and I love canning because that's the way I was taught preserving food. So when you have abundance, or when you have abundance of food, or we are farmers, so we grow a lot of stuff ourselves. When I have abundance, I'm not just gonna let it rot on a tree. I'm not just gonna pick it up. And, I know a lot of people pick it and they mean good, but then, times goes by and next thing you know, it's wasted in a fridge, it's rotten, it's this, and then we throw a fruit away. So to me, it's very dear to my heart. And so when you have abundance of some things, why wouldn't you wanna preserve it, right? That's that mindset, and we talk about it, our mindset. Why wouldn't you want to preserve it? So going from canning to dehydrating, and all those methods are great. I still use it today. I love dehydrating because it has a certain things that I like to dehydrate. But with this new freeze drying method and style, I think it's not only beneficial for your own home, if you can do it or if you have it, but also it's beneficial, like Vital said, right now on this blessed, ONPASSIVE. What is the center of what we wanted to do? We wanted to help, the humanity, the less fortunate, the widows, single mothers, or whoever, those who don't have. There's a lot of people that actually around even uptown, they can't afford, they don't have a good health nutrition. That's therefore, their bodies suffered, and therefore their lifespan being shortened, and we want to see people live an abundant life, the way that God actually said in the Bible to live in abundance and health, and our bodies to be healthy. So when this freeze drying come in handy for this specific things are that, what is a freeze drying? How different it is from canning and dehydrating. So if you don't know anything about freeze drying, really in a nutshell, freeze drying works by freezing the material, then reducing the pressure and adding the heat to allow the frozen water and the material to change directly to a vapor. The process removes 98 to 99% of the moisture in food, making it a superior method for preserving food. So the difference between canning is when we can dehydrate, we use a hot process, and anything that we know when you use a hot process, it will decrease the value of the food. You will still remain some nutrition in it, which is great. I'd rather preserve it than throw it away. But like with my husband's sense with canning, you lose 60% of the nutritional value of the food that you can. Dehydrating, a little bit better, right? It's a slow speed when you dehydrate something. I have a dehydrator and back in the days, they did it in the oven. They might have picked the apples. They throw them on a cookie sheet, and then you put them on a low heat in the oven, and then you dehydrate them that way for 24 hours or however long it takes, right? Checking periodically. That's another method. My grandmother dehydrated up in the attic in the summertime. That's what I remember. She took a newspaper, she put the fruit up there, and she just let it up there. And when it was done, we came in there and tried it. We just picked it up with the newspaper and then put it in the containers and consumed it. But still, with the dehydrating, you know, you can do certain things, you know, like vegetables, fruits. You can even do jerkies and things like that, but you cannot, with dehydrating, you cannot do complete meals and meats and, you know, things that are beneficial, like protein and things like that, that we need for our bodies to function. So with the freeze drying, when I begin to research that, it really caught my eye at the beginning, and I just begin to learn and research and dig deep inside, you know, use a lot of the different sites and things like that, just to reading about it. And I was been telling my husband, you know, I told him, I said, this is something that can really be beneficial just for our home, because, you know, we are farmers, so we grow a lot of our stuff. We have a big garden, and, you know, we have eggs, we have meat, we raise our own meat, we have milk. So we have a lot of stuff that can be shelf life preserved for really long time. So this is where the freeze dryer come in. This is really my passion. I don't know more than yours, but I mean, both of ours, but you know, I really am big on the nutrition. So, and I'm looking at it from standpoint of view, if we are farmers and we have a milk, right? Milk spoil. I'm just giving an example. Milk spoils pretty quick. If you have a fresh raw milk, it will last you anywhere from 5 to 7 days.
10 days.
Why not take that milk and take it and freeze dry it? That means you put it in a freeze dryer. It will freeze first. Then it will pull all the moisture out of there and turns pretty much into a powder, right? You can see in a store, actually, they have a milk powder. You can see it. It's very expensive. I recently went actually and checked it out for myself. This is where our hearts are with the freeze drying. Single moms, right? Let's say you can breastfeed or anything like that. You go into the store, there is no formula, right? What you feeding your baby? Why not freeze dry that milk, turn it into the powder, put it up, or even if you use it right away.
Or make your own formula.
And reconstitute it with water. Same thing, you do the same thing with formula. Why not do it with the milk, right? Freeze dry it so the milk, the whole milk can hold a 99.9% of the nutrition value for that baby that's gonna need it. Babies are needed, every bit of it, right? So we saw that in 2020 during COVID. I mean, gosh, still there is no formula on the shelf. You just wondering why not put in this big project. This is just like one of examples. What I'm thinking about babies, right?
Let me jump in.
Go ahead.
So picture this. Picture you being able to hand a family a tote that's probably, I don't know, 3 feet by 2 feet by about a foot deep. And that will supply them food for 3 months for a family of 4.
Mm-hmm.
All in one thing. So imagine how you can do, if you could supply 4 of those totes to a family, you can feed them for a year. of a high quality, very palatable, nutritious meals. And I'm not talking rice and beans, good stuff, beef stroganoff, macaroni and cheese, broccoli casserole, different things like that. It's good. It's high-end good stuff with great flavor. You don't sacrifice any taste when you freeze dry.
Right.
And freeze drying, like she said, has been around for a very long time. Military meals, the MREs that the military uses, just them real bland looking brown, but that's what they are. They're MREs, meals ready to eat for the military. So, they've been using those. It's just now you want to move into the forefront to where you are looking at more palatability, taste. You're looking at nutritional values, quality. You don't want to I'm sure they didn't sacrifice any quality back then, but now the quality can get better. You can raise the standards when you start looking into this in a large way. Okay. You can, we could even staff nutritionists on there at the facility. You staff a licensed nutritionist. You staff a food safety inspector. All these kind of things, all these kind of persons can be staffed on payroll, okay, for our cause and our purpose, not because we just want to put the safety and the quality first of what we're going to put out to the people. We don't want to put out no junk, because that's not the purpose here. We don't want to cut corners either.
Right.
So you don't want to sacrifice anything. So therefore we look into having all the right persons in place, which also means creating jobs. Okay. Creating a whole list of jobs. This is not a 1 or 2 person deal. This is probably 100 to 200 personnel deal or more. So here we are going to create almost 200 or 300 jobs in a facility. This is not anything small. These machines range in price. I mean, from $2,400 from like the small home up to $950,000 per unit on the big side, on the commercial side. So when you're getting into something like that, you're not staffing it with out of a temp agency. You're getting college graduates, you're getting people in there, you're getting, people that can make it go. And it's not a little endeavor, and I had a few more notes here just on the household side of it, like what my wife has. Okay. A small household freeze dryer will cost you an estimated cost of about $1.25 to $2.80 a day to run on your electric bill. So you're freeze drying that food, less your prep time and the purchase of your food, for $2.80, $3 on the high side. Now, mind you, that freeze dried food, that maybe a 4-ounce bag of let's use dog treats, for example. That's another thing that's coming up and coming on the pet side of it. A little 1-ounce bag of dog treats is about $15. So you can see where the math is there. And then, roughly your drying times are about a 24-hour cycle, whether it's what my wife does or commercially. They're going to run about 24 hours. And then some may run a little longer depending on what you're putting in the dryer. It may require more drying time, more freezing time, but my wife is starting to learn more tricks on how to speed things up. Like she'll pre-freeze things in her trays before they go in the freeze dryer. Now that cuts the freezing time down. So now it makes the process run a little faster. So she's learning how to shave time and find different methods and things to do, what works, what doesn't work. So that's what I got on these notes here.
Yeah, it's been a great learning experience. We've been having this machine for about a month, and I experienced with a lot of fruits and vegetables right now. I'm gonna be start doing some meat and dairy and eggs and things like that pretty soon.
Cook meals too.
Fully cooked meals. You know, just the experience, not necessarily because I want to put it up, but I want to make sure that I understand and test everything that I need to test on this machine, because that's what we want to, you know, it's our hearts to help other people. I want to make sure that I'm not just educating myself on a paper, but you know, that's the reason why we purchased the freeze dryer as well. You know, it's an expense for us. It's a large amount of money for us, but you know, with us researching it for so long and been wanting it for so long, we were blessed to save enough and purchase one just recently, 2 months ago. So it's been doing really well. I actually done some bananas, like my husband says. The versatility of the freeze drying is great, because freeze drying works great not only for fruits and vegetables, but unlike other options, you can also preserve meat, fish, dairy, eggs, ice cream, and even fully cooked meals. And candy. And all it does, when you take it out of the bag and it's on a shelf, let's say you freeze dry a meal. Let's say I freeze dry a chicken noodle soup and I put it up. I put it in Mylar bags, because that's where you put it in. That's the storage. You put it in a Mylar bags. You put your absorbent pack in it. You put what was in it, chicken noodle soup, date, and you put it on a shelf. You seal it and you put it on a shelf. Let's say I want to take it out 1 month later or 2 months later. Let's say we have a baseball. We have children. My son plays baseball. He just got on an all-star team. I know we're going to be busy for next 3 weeks. So instead of me try to cook in the kitchen and all that, I'll be like, okay, what I have in my closet, I'll pull up the bag. I'll open it, chicken noodle soup, perfect. What do? We take it out. We reconstitute it with water. And that's it.
Warm it up on the stove.
Warm it up on the stove, and then there is your meal. So it has such a different ways that it can be used for anywhere for preparation, anywhere for long storage, short storage. If you just wanna, you know, bless somebody with some, you know, prep meals, the people who don't have, go in the streets, like, hey, finding people who, you know, are less fortunate. I mean, it goes, the expansion of freeze drying, it's amazing. You know, also during the hurricanes and things like that, that people don't have food or whatever it is, there comes your bags. Hey, that town over there, that family, you ship them, like my husband said, ship them a crate with food. They have a month's supply.
For 3 months.
So far it's been a blessing to us, and we're still learning, we're still digging in. We want to make sure that, you know, we doing everything right on our hand, but really our hearts as the farmers, you know, we want to preserve not only the food, but we want to preserve and also teach and educate the next generation and preserve the children in the next generation that are growing up, to teach them about farming, to teach them where food comes from and why do we want to keep the as much possible nutrition in the food, because, you know, there is a lot of confusion out there about a lot of different foods, and I know everybody likes different things. For us farmers, you know, we are farmers, we have a little bit different opinion on things, but really our hearts, you know, when we met Vitel, you know, we felt like there is a God connection, and God wants to do something, you know, through all of us. But so we are excited to see where God is gonna take this. You know, like my husband said, we wanted to do it 100%. We wanted to give it the best of the best, just like Ash Mafara said. So with all of his this ONPASSIVE, you know, do the best of the best. Why would you want to give God 50% when he says, you know, do everything as you would do it unto me? So that is our hearts. We don't want to help and bless people with the 50% of nutrition value food, we want to give them 99.9% of the food that their body really needs for functioning every day. So
and let me add this too. Just look at a sidebar. This is another little facet. You know, look how many people are not brand ambassadors, okay, that are struggling to make ends meet. So why not we put together a package for them, which would consist of a couple of home freeze dryers like my wife has, and give them a business plan to start doing freeze dried food for resale for human consumption and also for the pet world. Okay. There's a whole nother side of the pet side, you know, even on the large scale, that's very lucrative. And, you know, there's other opportunity there for us to set people up with businesses and let them thrive because they didn't get in on the ONPASSIVE platform because either they just didn't know or maybe they were skeptical or whatever. But we could also do that. We also have the capacity to, you know, I'm willing when this takes off and I get my farm situated here, you know, we want to take our farm to the next level and be able to do tours for kids and do teachings and classes here, but do everything with a more modern perspective. We want to milk with robots and a lot of automation so we can actually do tourism. And then we want to be able to go to places and say, okay, do we need to build a dairy here for this village or this community to be able to have fresh milk where we can train everybody and how to operate? You know, we have that capacity and we have the means to get all that done. So that's another sidebar that, you know, that we'll be able to offer to a lot of these countries and communities, and even partner up with a lot of these countries that are already dairying. Maybe they just don't have the means to expand. Why don't we expand them? Why don't we put in a processing plant over there and wherever it is and whatever needs be? So, but anyway, that's a couple of other sidebars, you know, and that could also link up to the food preservation side of it for a facility somewhere else. You know, maybe there needs to be multiple facilities to be able to handle different parts of the world. One facility is not going to be able to do it. They're going to have to be strategically located. But my wife's going to grab a couple of samples of what some of the finished product looks like. She's got them stored in Mylar bags, and you can also store in the canning mason jar as well. So what she's got here, I don't know if you can see this, but this is Granny Smith apples. Okay, let me see if I can get it to where those are apples. So these apples, they weigh absolutely nothing. Looks like that. And it looks almost like a potato chip, but still retains the same flavor as a Granny Smith apple. Nothing sacrificed.
yeah, so couple ways to preserve freeze drying, you can also store it in a mason jars, which I like to do when we don't want to do a long-term storage. So I just put it in a mason jar, and these have been here for a while, like 3 or 4 weeks.
That was one of your first things that you've done.
Batch, and these are still
Great snacks for the kids.
Yeah. So, for example, apples, it took me probably about 12 to 14 hours to freeze dry it. I also did some peppers.
Those are organic bell peppers, red and yellow.
In here. It's kind of hard to see because of the background. I also did some berries. I have some blackberries in here. And you guys know that blackberries contain a lot of sugar and a lot of moisture. So with specific things I'm learning that has a lot of moisture and a lot of sugar, it takes a really long time to freeze dry. It takes extra drying time for it to pull all the moisture and all the water, all the liquid out of them. But these guys, I mean, they are like, it's hard, but you can crack them open with it, like they're just crunchy. So think about blackberry. Let's say you have abundance of blackberries and you want to preserve them for later on. I mean, blackberries, any kind of berry has a lot of antioxidant in them. Turn them in powder. That's what I put in a blender, and I turn them in powder, and I use them as superfoods. Right? You have a red superfoods and a green superfoods, and I use them as on my salads or whatever it is. So there is a lot of varieties you can use the fruits and vegetables. You know, I've done some mangoes. I got some mangoes, and this thing, it's like so delicious. It's actually amazing because these mangoes, think about it, when you cut up a fresh mango, right, it's juicy, and sometimes when it's a little bit overripe, it just drips and it's really juicy. So this mango tastes exactly the same like you would eat it as a fresh, but it doesn't have any sugar content or any water content in it because it's been freeze dried. But it was still, you will still get the same nutritional value from this mango as you would eat it fresh. It's amazing. It's amazing. So
I might eat the whole bag.
Yeah.
Good.
And one more thing, you know,
So this is a Mylar bag. I don't know if you can see it, kind of.
Let me hold it. So this is one of the, oh gosh, it's probably, it's gonna be hard because of the background. Can you guys see it this way? Hello? You guys see it?
Yes.
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay. So yes, so this is a small Mylar bag. It's very tiny. This is like a sample Mylar bag. All I did just put the mangoes in it. When I freeze dried them, this one comes with a little zippy bag, but I still heat seal it to make sure there's no air or anything gets in it. So I have the freeze dry comes with a sealer, heat sealer, and you seal it with heat, make sure there's no air or any kind of type of air is coming in. And I put oxygen absorber pack in it, which you see in a lot of your foods when you get stuff from grocery store. When you open like vitamin stuff, you guys see that little pack of that absorbent oxygen in there. That's what you put in there, and then you just, you know, write on the back what's in it, the date, and you just put it on a shelf and just leave it there. And then, you know, I don't know, a couple months or a couple of weeks, if you feel like, hey,
or 20 years,
the mango season is over, or the peach season is over in Georgia, which I don't buy any other peaches than from Georgia because they are the best. Then I can go to my little Mylar bags and my kids can have it for snack, and it's better than anything else you get because it's a fruit. It holds 99.9% of the nutrition value. Why not give them something that is beneficial to them? I feel like we need to go back to our forefathers because that's what they did. Fresh, right? Vegetables, fruits, things like that. That is just where my heart is. That's my background. The nutrition is important to us. We do that here at the house. It's even with my children. You know, we let them have some things, but we want to make sure that, you know, their bodies consuming everything that God has placed on this earth for us to enjoy. And I think the mankind took it so far. And now as we go to grocery store and different things, and this is how I think, because when I go to the grocery store, I look at the labels. I look what's in it. I look if there's any kind of food coloring and you know, all the additives and things they put in this food. It's very, very dangerous for our body. It will harm our bodies. So this is where we come in. You know, we already have the farmer's background. Why not take it a step ahead and be beneficial and be the hands and feet of Jesus in those areas that God has gifted us. So we're gonna leave it at that. We don't want to be too long. I know we like to talk, so excuse us. We just love to talk about what we enjoy to do, but this is in a nutshell kind of like where our hearts are. We are excited to see where this is gonna go. It's gonna be a hard work. It's gonna take over time. It's a big project, but with the right people, with the right heart, with the right mindset, I think we can accomplish pretty much anything. So thank you all for watching. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Wow, wow, wow. Queen, I call you Queen Jana and King Jeff. To tell you the truth, you have taught us a lot because I did not know about freeze drying. I never knew about that. I would say magnificent presentation. I mean, you guys have done your research, and you guys have the love for humanity as well, just like our CEO, Mr. Ash Mafaraya. You guys are planning. I mean, I just like the way you guys are working together, and the love that you guys have. Again, you guys are putting God first. God has given you. You know that when you work harder and you pray, the Lord is going to be there for you. But if you just sit and pray, God help me, help me. He wants you to start. And you guys have started. Like I started before, I never knew about freeze drying, which I just found out that freeze drying, also known as lyophilization, it is a procedure that involves freezing a product to remove moisture, which is then sublimated by a vacuum to produce product that is almost entirely dry. I never knew about that. I really appreciate it. And one thing that you guys stated is that you guys want to employ, most importantly, college students. I like that. You know, when students graduate from school, sometimes it is very difficult for them to get jobs.
Exactly.
So by you guys hiring our students, it makes them happy for them to, first of all, come and learn. And again, when you guys hire, I know you're saving money too because you pay them less money, right? And again, I'm happy. And I never knew about canning. You guys stated that canning retain about 40% of the nutritional value in the food. So when it comes to canning, I know that in this country, a lot of people like canned food. Do you believe that all these canned food that has been preserved, are they really, really, really good in our body? Are they good?
Okay, that's a good question because, you know, I don't have a degree in nutrition, but I've been around for a really long time. And just exactly the country that I came from, and I've been around a good nutrition because we have prepared our meals ourselves. It's always been cooked. We had everything fresh, you know, back home growing up. It wasn't like even coming from Europe. So I came here when I was 20 years old, just to give you short background. I came here when I was 20 years old. And when I came to America, I was very, I didn't know anything about anything. So when I began to understand, I began to start going to the grocery stores, I was really surprised how everything was packaged, how everything was vacuum sealed, how everything was in cans. I'm like, what is this? Not even a fresh bread. Everything was in those packed and compact. And I'm like, what? I still struggle with it sometimes when I go to grocery stores, because when I go home in Europe, you have such a large variety. You go to the grocery stores, there's baskets of rake fresh goods. And I'm like, why can't we have it right here? I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate a good quality. I know people will pay for it as well. They will pay for good quality of food. But I think over the years, mankind, society, they try to reprogram us and, try to get us used to what this is the way it is. Can is the new thing. Everything in a can, everything vacuum sealed. Why are we getting away from fresh butcher shops when you can go and ask that butcher guy, hey, cut me a piece of this part of, that's how I grew up. Why do you put in a vacuum seal? And now, we are farmers, so we are in a very front line of knowing what's happening to the food industries right now. And it's very scary. It's very, very, very scary what is going on. So yes, to your question, Dr. Benny, I don't buy any canned goods. I don't.
Unless it's organic.
Unless it's organic, I really need it, or I don't have it, or I can grow it. I don't buy it because it's all been preservatives in it. Everything's been added in it, and then we consume it with our bodies. So I avoid do fresh vegetables or frozen, but avoid all canned vegetables, fruits, things like that that are just canned, packaged. I always tell people and try to educate them. If you pick up a can of something and you read the ingredients label that it's in the back, if there is a stuff that you cannot pronounce in it, put it back. Put it back. Because the less ingredients that thing's gonna have, let's say
The more nutrition it's done.
the more nutrition it's gonna have. So I tell people, look at the back label. If you buy, for example, let's say seasoning, and it says, okay, it has a pepper, paprika, cumin, oregano, blah, that's it. That's what you want. You don't want any other additives in it. You want a dextro in it. You don't want all those things that you're like, what is that? And the amazing thing is you can actually go home and type that in, what's in it, research it, and you'll be surprised what comes up, what that ingredient is, or what that additive is. So, this is where our hearts is. We want to provide a good, high quality nutrition. We want to do it for our family, for our children. Why not do it for the other children that are suffering across the globe, even here in the United States? Educating people, taking it back to where God originally gave us the seed for you to put it in the ground, grow it, and care for it, and then harvest it for what? Why did he give it to us? For us, because he knew it has a beneficial nutrition value to our bodies. And the society and the people drove us so far away from that. They make us believe that if you buy a canned food or go to the fast food restaurant, well, it will feed you. You won't be hungry for a couple hours, but what are you putting into your body? That's what's so important. So when I was talking about canning goods, meaning preserving, canning in yourself, there's different buying in the cans in the store and do it canning in a glass jars. I do the same thing with these mason jars. But if I have apples or pears, what I do, I fill my cans with apples. I make me a light served water. Let's say I want to, same thing like you buy it in a can in the grocery stores, but I do it at home. And then I put it in my canning bed and I put it for about 10-15 minutes. It will preserve, it will seal it. And then it's good for about 1 or 2 or 3 years. And then you just open it. I do it with peppers. I would do it with, you can do salsa, you can do meat.
She made her own spaghetti sauce, tomatoes.
Yeah.
She made a dish that she grew up on, which consists of like bell peppers and tomatoes and stuff. All we have to do is dump it out, heat it, and eat it. Add some scrambled eggs to it.
Yeah.
Add some meat to it. Whatever. It's already prepared.
Yeah. So canning, it's always better. And I know a lot of people don't have the time, and
it's work.
But that's where we come. If we can have a large facility, if we can have these things to our benefits, to teach and bring the mindset of young people, the next generation back, why not do it? I mean, are we here for humanity or not? We are. So every aspect of that counts. Every baby counts. Every infant counts. Every 10-year-old boy counts. The schools, bring the whole meal back to the schools. Don't give them fat-free or what. Give them the nutrition that they need. But it's the society and the mind control They try to control our minds to teach us, and because we're so used to the lifestyle, like, no, yeah, like you said, I don't know anything about freeze drying. But you know what? I'm glad I'm here. I'm here to tell you about it. Somebody's got to tell somebody.
And a lot too, a lot of the society now has come to a convenience factor. They sacrifice quality for convenience.
Yes.
How fast can I get a meal cooked? And they don't care what really, if they go get a can of green beans, they could just as well go to the frozen section and get a bag of frozen green beans.
It just takes you a little bit longer.
It's a convenience factor.
It is.
That everybody, it's been built into everybody now. And, you know, and everybody's used to it.
Yes.
You know, and what it is, you know, you've got people that grew up in the old school where they cooked everything. They prepared everything. You know, the meal took an hour and a half to prepare, not 10 minutes. You know, and so, you know, that's the other side of it is, you know, everybody's looking for convenience. But
yeah, but I know there's a lot of people right now that they are like, we are farmers. So we have a lot of people that are looking for that small farm source. They want fresh. They want fresh vegetables. They want from small farm
to table.
Because people are waking up. They recognizing and realizing what's going on. And those who are awakened, guess what? They're going to be benefit from it. Those who are foolish, they don't want to read, they just want to go with what's the new trend, what is the next big thing or fastest thing. Oh, I don't have to do it. Listen, next thing I mean, we already have a microwave. Y'all see how you take a meal, put it in a microwave heater. That's the worst thing you can ever do because it kills all the nutrients plus the radiation and all that stuff that goes with it. So we have been so reprogrammed with these convenient things like microwave and all those things, which is good for some things, but you can't do everything in it, you know. So we can talk about these for years and days in here because this is our passion, but just know that we are farmers and we know what's going on. We know what labels, what laws and things coming into place, especially here in the United States. So we just wanted to encourage you, even you guys watching tonight, just use wisdom and, you know, use common sense. And we do have the research these days. Everybody have their pocket phones. So if you go to the store and something doesn't, just read those labels and educate yourself and start somewhere. Like I start somewhere with the freeze drying and I was encouraged really by ONPASSIVE because I used to be that person that I start something and then I get discouraged and I get move along. And I was like, this freeze drying aspect is really, really ringing in my ears. But, you know, I waited a long time for this machine. But like Vitel said, we got to start doing something. So I'm starting doing it in my own home right now. We all can do something. We can start right now somewhere, whatever it is, your gift and talents you have, you just start doing it now. And trust God. You know, God's going to guide and lead as long as your heart is in it. He will guide you and lead you. He will promote you. He will expand you. He will put the right people in front of you. And it's going to be beautiful at the end of the day. Does it take a hard work? Absolutely. All the time.
And sacrifice.
Time, sacrifice, planting seeds. It was just in my garden. I was talking about the weeds. I was pulling the weeds. I was telling people, you got to pull those weeds out because if you don't, guess what those weeds gonna do? They're gonna choke everything that you work hard for. You have to keep plugging them out. So
you got to always remember 3 things: seed, time, and harvest.
Seed, time, and harvest.
You plant it, it takes time, and then there's a harvest at the end. No matter if you sow the word of God, you sow a seed in the soil. When you sow the word of God, you water it. And then you reap the harvest off of it. That's saving a soul. That's telling somebody about the Lord, leading them to the Lord. You know, that's how we walk here. That's how we run our business. And that's what our marriage is based on.
Yes.
We don't do it any other way. Who else has got some questions? I'm ready.
Oh, wow. Okay. Before I call for Brother Momudu, I know Dr. Derek and Dr. Patience, they want to say something before I can proceed. But before I say that, whoever have any question when it comes to the inspirational presentation and our great speakers here, please raise your hands electronically. Thank you so much. Dr. Derek, if you have anything to say before we can proceed. Thank you.
Oh, mercy. Wonderful presentation. Thank you very, 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 very much. Oh my goodness. I thought that when you presented the other day, that was it. But I tell you, this is more it than that. Only one question I have for you though. Just like how you showed us in the other presentation, the freeze dryer. Is it possible for you to kind of, you know, because not most persons has never seen one before. I kind of put one in the picture as
Yes.
I realized what it was now.
Yes, I'll come show you guys.
If you could just allow persons, you know, and just give us a little, you know.
Let me take the background off so that way you guys see
Yes,
it.
please.
Hold on one second.
And then just give us a little snippet of your freeze dryer and
the background off. Okay.
We will really appreciate it.
Okay. It should be fine now. Let me make sure I took it off. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Yes.
Excuse my mess. It's my laundry room, y'all. So let me see which way am I? Okay. So can you guys see it?
Yes.
Okay. So this is, we actually, my son named this freeze dryer Jack the Frost. You can name it. So we named it Jack the Frost. That was his idea because it freeze dries, you know, below 50 degrees or, you know, so it gets pretty cold in there. So this is the medium size. So this is about, what is it, Han? 24 by 18? Yeah. So this is about 24 by 18. Here is the door. You open the door. Here is the chamber. This is where, when you close it, it begins to ice up. This is where your trays will go. So the medium size comes with 1, 2, 3, 4 trays. How much food fits in those trays? You have that on the paper? Was it 7 to 14 pounds? I think it was from 7 to 14 pounds of food.
Medium size will do 8 to 13 pounds of food.
8 to 13 pounds of food. Okay. It comes with the pump. It's a premium oil pump. It takes premium oil. So as you can see, I got it on a stand. Here's the pump. Here's my trays. I got an extra trays. I bought 4 extra trays so I can do more and pre-freeze my stuff. Also, it comes with the medium size. Comes with 50 miler bags. This is from the harvest, right? These are really pretty. You guys can see how pretty they have it, you know, on the photo. And it's really simple. It just have one hose. This hose attaches from the freeze dryer to the pump. And you plug it in, leave it on, and that's pretty much it. And it runs automatic. Once you pre-freeze it, it tells you to, when you start it, it pre-freezes for 15 minutes and the temperature begins to drop down up here on the display. So if I was gonna press start right now, like that, it comes on and it says is wait 15 minutes before loading trays, a cooling vacuum chamber. Once the 15 minutes is up, I'm gonna cancel it. Once the 15 minutes is up, you load your trays and you close it, and then you just let it be, and it just does it on its own. Usually it freezes for about 3 to 4 hours, and depends what you put in. And once the food or whatever you put in is frozen, it goes into automatic drying mode and it dries. And depends how much moisture is in the food. That depends how long it's the machine's gonna work to dry the food off. And you can set it on extra dry time as well. For example, if I do something, it's in the middle of the night and I know the it's close to finish drying, I just put extra time. So that way you can really ruin anything for extra drying, because you do want it extra dry. You don't want to have any moisture in your food. Yeah, it doesn't hurt to add the extra time. So.
All right, thank you very much. Really, really, really appreciate that that little demonstration. That is awesome. Well, for me, it's the second time I'm seeing it. For some, it's the first time. And most definitely, I think every one of us that witness it should invest as soon as the money. Apple are going to freeze. Money are not going to freeze. So as soon as the money comes and put it in my pocket, then I start to freeze some Apple.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Yana, and Jeff. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Derek, for your help and for bringing Sister Jana and Brother Jeff here. We really appreciate everything. We love you. We love you guys. And we pray that you come back again, because a lot of people want to learn more from you all. At this time, I'm going to hand it over to Queen Kanla. Could you please proceed?
Wow, 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 wow. That was phenomenal. Amazing, just amazing. I'm sure if the English dictionary had another word I could use to describe the presentation. Brand Ambassador Jana and Jeff, awesome. That was just phenomenal. Thank you for the wealth of knowledge. This is why we are ONPASSIVE. You can only get this in ONPASSIVE. Otherwise, you need to go pay a lot of money for this information. But yet, ONPASSIVE has brought us as a family. We are humbled that you came and you shared this knowledge with us. We appreciate you and we love you. Thank you for instilling in us that knowledge. I am just nostalgic right now because I can relate to so many of the things you said, because I myself, I lived through it. Coming from a background, a family, I did those things with my mother, my father, my siblings. So I really relate with you, and I know many others, ambassadors, kings and queens, they relate with you. So thank you so much for that knowledge. And we love you so much. At this time, I would like to call on our brand ambassador, Momodo. Please unmute yourself and share with us your excitement or your question.
Yes, my beautiful queen. Good evening, and good evening, Dr. Derek, and all my beloved brand ambassadors. And good evening to brother and sister J and J. I call you as short because I'm so impressed and I'm so happy to witness this presentation. Thank you very much. You know, you brought memories in me because I was born and raised by a master farmer, whereby we never buy anything to eat out of the house. The only thing we buy from the street is sugar and salt. Everything else, because we grow everything. But you know, I came from Sierra Leone, and everything we grow is seasonal. But we never have this opportunity to preserve our fruits and our agriculture produce. You know, listening to you, itemizing everything that we used to grow from our farm. You know, I wish this opportunity had been there before. You know, looking at everything you just itemized, name everything that my dad, that we used to grow. You know, if we had had this opportunity to preserve them, oh my goodness. You know, even when I came to this country, I never go to any store to buy anything to eat. Everything we cook at home. Because I don't trust, I'm not even comfortable of going to eat in any restaurant or any, you know, cooking place. Everything I eat is from home, home cook. And back home, we cook every day. It's only when I came to this country that I eat freezing food. No, we cook fresh food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know, I am so interested. I am so interested, Mrs. J and J, I call you. Thank you very much. And as Dr. Derek said it, as soon as we start getting our apples, this is the first thing I will embark on, because I can imagine our fresh produce back home, ranging from mangoes, pepper, everything you can think of. We'll be able to preserve them and eat them as fresh as they are plugged out of the,
exactly.
You know, yes. So thank you very much. God bless you. I am Momodu Jallo from Sierra Leone, but presently I'm in America, in Maryland. But
Very
I am
nice
working
to
right
meet you.
now. Thank you very much. You know, oh my goodness.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
You're welcome. Oh, God bless you.
Thank you, Brother Mamadou. You talked about farming everything. Yes, I do remember. And the farming was not only a time when family also bonded, because I remember the farming became the bonding time, the educational moment. You learn from your parents, your mother, the girls, you learn the cooking, the boys, you learned what you need to do on your end. And so the educational factor, which Jenna, you beautifully blended together, comes into play.
Oh, yes.
Once all of this is taking place, and at the end, what is the harvest? Education, healthy food, healthy lifestyle, and just living the life that God has blessed us with it. Natural.
Yes.
So it's amazing. Thank you once more. At this time, Brother Vitel, I see your hand raised. Do you have something to add?
Yes, I saw Dr. T there, so ladies before me, okay?
Awesome. All right. Yes, I was going to, Dr. T.
Yes, thank you so much.
Please.
Thank you so much.
Proceed.
I'm here, but I wanted to ask about, the first question is, this drying machine, do we just purchase those from you all, or is there someplace we can purchase that machine?
You can go online. Ours is called a Harvest Right. And you can go online to their website and you can purchase direct from them and they will ship to you. And as of right now, they're running a $500 off coupon. But let me give you some advice. It happened to us when we got our machine. We were so excited, we got it in the house. We didn't inspect it before it come off the shipping truck. Well, it had a dent in it. So probably wouldn't have affected the machine, but you know what we paid for it, we wanted everything to be right. So we had to send ours back, but we had to go through a whole process. So I advise everyone, if you're going to order a machine, before it comes off of the truck, you unpack it and you inspect it and make sure there's no physical damage in transport. But yeah, you can go right to harvestright.com, which is the brand that we have. That one comes with great reviews, and you can purchase straight from there. And they have everything on the website, all the accessories and everything that you need. And if anybody has any questions, you can reach out to Vitel. We can reach out to my wife. She can advise you on different things, and you know, on you know, things to purchase, like what she's done. She's been doing a little research and stuff, and on Mylar bags and different stuff like that, and she can help you out with that.
Also, I wanted to add, I remember, and this is just, I remember when the COVID hit, everybody tried to think about food preservation, and I'm telling you, if you want to order this machine during the COVID, you had to wait like 7 months, because it was insane how many of those they sold. So I didn't even bother during that time, because I'm like, oh my gosh, by the time I get this machine, my harvest season is going to be over. But you know, we got the machine pretty quick right now. I think we got it in 2.5 weeks. So it was very quick. I think the company is in Utah, in the state of Utah. I guess that's where the company is from. That's where they made them. So it's made in USA, has warranty and everything on it. So, I mean, we just kind of went with it too. We just try it and see how it goes, learning. And you know, that's how we do everything. We just got to put one foot in it and do it and take it from there and learn by day.
Okay, I have 2 more questions that I'll give the floor back to our host. The other question, you talked about the mason jars. Now, can you use the mason jars for fruits and vegetables that are frozen to go into the jars, or do they have to be fresh to start before you put them in the mason jar?
So the food process, so if you're gonna freeze dry your apples, right? I freeze dry these apples, I show you guys, and I cut them on the slices. I put as many as I could in my trays, and what had happened to that apple, instead of being an apple that has you know, all the juicy juice in there and everything, so what it does, it freezes and then it dries it, so it becomes like it's like a very light, like a feather. So what you do, you just put them, if you're not gonna long life shelf storage with them, it'll be like the snack on them. I just put them here in this jar, and I don't even put any absorbent package in it. I just put them in there. I close them with the lid, and that's it.
But you can store it in the jar. They make an attachment that goes on the top that vacuum seals the product.
A lot of people
pulls all the air out.
A lot of people store them in these glass jars because they like them better. I like glass too, because I can and stuff, so I put everything in glass containers because they don't have any chemicals and toxins and things like that. So glass is always the best. That's what they used to use back in the days. And but yes, you can put fruits. Like I even have my peppers in there, and they've been there now for like a month, and they're still crunchy. And we just take them out of the jar, and I keep them on my counter, and we just snack on them. So yeah, so remember, when you freeze dryer pulls all the moistures out of it, so it becomes it's very light and crunchy. So it's kind of like a chip, but it still tastes like Granny Smith apple, if it makes sense. It's like almost like you bite in it, you're like, oh wow, it's so fresh, but it doesn't have any moisture in it, if that makes any sense.
Okay, so is the jar, okay, so are the jars put in the refrigerator, or is room temperature when you store them?
No.
Put them in your pantry.
Okay.
Yeah, I have them on top of my counter, but if you want a long shelf storage from the jars, put them in like a darker place, somewhere in the closet. Make sure it's not hot, but room temperature, and you'll be fine.
Okay, and the last, okay, thank you so much for your presentation. And the last statement is for Queen Jackie Warner. Excellent presentation, Jackie. I really do appreciate you. I come on Thursdays just to hear you. So I want you to know I really appreciate. I do. I want to give you all the support I can give you. Okay, so I really
Thank
enjoyed the
you.
presentation. And if I could just add something to your presentation, you talked about the accounting, you're making sure that you have a bank account and everything. I just want to add this, which we talked about a long time ago. Make sure when you get all this money, everybody, to get a financial planner. You can't just
Yes.
you can have all that money. You cannot just manage all this money by yourself. Okay, so make sure
Nope.
you all get a financial planner. So that's number
Oh,
6,
man.
Jackie. Hey, number 6, Jackie, get a financial planner.
Yes, indeed.
There you go. I just thought I'd help you out. I wanted to help you out there. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. That's it, Mr. Bates. That's it, Mattel. You can take it over now. You're next.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, I yield to Jacqueline and Finette.
Thank you, Dr. T. Do you have any response to that, Queen Jenna and Jeff?
I'm sorry.
Do you have anything to add? Anything to add to what Sister Queen Dr. Tashiana just said?
No. The only one thing I could add real quick is if anybody had any questions about the Mylar bags for storage, they are reusable. However, if you have fruits and vegetables in a Mylar bag, you want to put fruits and vegetables back in it. You don't want to cross-contaminate with, like, let's say meat or anything like that in a washed bag. So you want to keep your bags. If you're doing fruits and vegetables, wash your bag and then dry it, let it dry, and then put fruits and vegetables back in it. If you're doing meats in that bag, wash your bag and then put your meats back in it. And you'll still be able to do that. However, the bag will get a little shorter because if you're using the bags like she has, it has a zippy seal on top, you can only reseal that about one more time before you start hitting the zippy. If you don't get ones that have that zip lock on it, then you can start storing. It's just going to make the bags going to get a little shorter.
Yes, and then you can, the Mylar bags are for purchase. The Mylar bags can be purchased either from Harvest Right, or you can find a lot of them on Amazon. Just be careful, because I ordered some packs and I'm kind of experimenting, like make sure like the thickness of the Mylar bag, you want to make sure it's 5 millimeters or up, 5 to 7 to 8 millimeters. So you want this Mylar bags thicker, because sometimes when you freeze dry like these peppers and they super dry, you want to make sure that fruit or vegetable doesn't poke a hole, and then you lose, obviously you make a hole in it and the air gets in it, and what's going to happen, it's not going to last. You're going to have, it's not going to last as long. So those are just some of the things that I'm still working with it. I'm still researching different companies, different bags, with it. That's why I haven't sent any packs yet, but because I'm still experimenting, because I don't want to send the bad one and then you be like, what did you send me? So I want to make sure it's good. So I'd rather take a little bit more time, and give it 100% than send something and it gets, mushy on the way or things like that. And that would not be a good presentation on my part. So I'm still, be patient with me, please. I'm still learning. I'm still, researching, but my heart is really in it. Like, we really feel strong that this is something that can benefit so many people, and the education behind it, and take it back to where God originally wanted, for us to consume and have the nutrients that we need.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Welcome.
Queen Jackie, please, over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Amazing. The JJ team, y'all are headed in the right direction. God is directing your path. I think this is going to be something worthwhile. It will affect the world globally, and I think you're amazing. Keep up the good work and the hard work that you're already doing, and keep on bringing the good news to the people. We need the nutrition. We need healthier bodies. Maybe you can change the world. We'll have blue zones all over the world, and that will be amazing. So thanks again so much for an amazing presentation, and have a beautiful evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the encouragement. We sure appreciate it. I know we all need to encourage one another. I really do, because, you know, there's days when we wanted to give up, but we got to keep going. So thank you.
You're very welcome.
We appreciate you, Queen Jackie. Thank you so much. And thank you always. You deliver every time. At this time, I would like to call on Queen Vinette. Please unmute yourself and share with us your excitement.
Hello,
All
everyone.
your questions. Over
Queen
to you.
Jackie, thank you so much again for your great presentation on the mindset. Thanks for reminding us of all the do's and don'ts and how to prepare ourselves for the uppers. You know, sometimes we forget about the things that you spoke about and how to prepare ourselves. So thank you for reminding us
You're
of the
welcome.
preparation that we will need to make to prepare ourselves for the uppers. Queen Yana and King Jeff, great presentation. Another great presentation. Thank you so much. And Queen Yana,
You're welcome.
I agree when you said our body is God's temple. We should definitely take care of God's temple because his spirit dwells within us. Like my brother Vital said, growing up, there was no room for wasting food because there were too many people to feed. So freeze drying is definitely a great way to go. Imagine how much we could have saved back then if that machine was around. So I see it as a great way of preventing food waste. And to this day, I dislike wasting food. So I usually put it in a freezer bag and store it in the refrigerator, in the freezer, in the refrigerator freezer. But you know how that goes, right? You can only store it for so long, it starts tasting like the freezer, get freezer burn, and then you have to throw it out. It becomes a waste. And then, you know, I hate wasting food because each time I have to waste food, I can only think of the many hungry people that could use that. So it's definitely a great thing, freeze dry. So thank you so much for that presentation. And thank you so much for your research. And I need to get that machine. I definitely need to get that machine. And I can't wait to taste what it tastes like. So
Well,
congratulations to you both.
Just think about this. Just think of it as now, it really needs to become a household item that sits in your laundry room or wherever, because like you said, you don't like to waste food. So let's say you prepared a large meal, okay? And you guys have leftovers. You can take those leftovers, put them in that freezer. Now you just preserve those leftovers. You can make prepared meals, like she said, and freeze dry them for later. But the cool thing is the leftovers. You no longer have to put them in the freezer, put them in the fridge, throw them in the freeze dryer and forget about it. 24 hours, come the next morning, take them out, pack them up. Hey, they're good to go. Put them in the pantry. Right on there what it is.
And it's already cooked. So I'm gonna experience with cook. I did sweet potatoes casserole, and I already cooked it because I've done only raw, but I've done sweet potato casserole and I cooked it, mashed it, and I put it in my trays, and it freezed beautifully. It was so dry, and then I just cut it on like 8 individual pieces, and I just took those light. It's amazing. There's no moisture. I just store them in a bag, heat them up, put the absorbent pack in there, and it's in my closet. And if I feel like having a sweet, you can actually munch on it just like that, like a cracker, if you want to, and you still get the nutrition.
Okay, so it's like munching on a chip or something.
Yes, like you doing a chips, or you can reconstitute it and you can just have a hot meal if you want it. You just, all it takes just water. I think for the fruits, it's cold water, and for the meals, it's a hot water. I'm not really sure. I have to research more into that and learning. but I'm gonna be taking some stuff as I go, and I'm gonna be trying my style, and that's the best I can do for now. Keep trying it.
Okay. After you freeze dry it and put it in that jar like you were showing us, like you showed us, how long can you keep it on the counter for, the shop?
Some people, I mean, I follow a lot of people, and some people, it depends. Some people, I get these apples on the counter already for months, and I have no anything in them, and they still crunchy. So
And
I would
notice
say
they
maybe
didn't turn
2 months.
brown. They didn't turn brown.
Well, because I put them in the water and lemon, that's why. That's, you know, how I prevent them from browning. When I cut them, I put the lemon juice in water, so that way the lemon keeps them fresh from browning.
Okay.
So there's a lot to learn about, a lot of different things, but it will last you probably, I would say 2 months. If it's just, you know, apples or mangoes or peppers or anything simple like that, I would say anywhere from like 2 months, 2.5 months, probably.
Or it'll stay on the counter as long as your kids and husband will let it.
Yeah.
And so when they find out how good they taste, it may only stay on your counter 4 days,
Yeah.
3 days, because they'll wipe them out if you're not careful.
It's that good, huh?
Because they're so good.
Yeah.
So when you store it in the freezer bag, it lasts a longer time then, a much longer time than in the
Oh,
jar.
you can get up to 25 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It would stay long. Yeah, it stay a long time. But yeah, it's pretty amazing. I'm pretty impressed with it. I'm excited to share. Thank you guys for having us out here. We really appreciate it. It's encouragement to us to keep on going and, you know, keep on just chugging forward, you know, and having you guys here, all you beautiful ambassadors. It's very encouraging. Thank you, Vital, for having us again on. I mean, we're excited because we know when God's in it and your heart's in it, you know, he'll take it far. He will bless it and he'll multiply it. And so we are excited to see, gosh, I mean, even a year ago, we didn't even know we were going to be on, not even on a panel, and we didn't even really, not really speakers, but, you know, we are people persons. So I think we're doing pretty good.
Awesome.
We've learned along the way. So yes.
Awesome. All right, back to you, Queen Hana.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, over to you, Queen Vital. King Vital, you see, I know the conversation is, I am so into it, and I'm only just taking it in as Queen Jenna is talking, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So my apology for calling you Queen, but over to you, King Vital.
No problem. Yes. I told you that we have 2 rock stars coming to the forum tonight. There are 2 rock stars. And Jeff and Hana, I tell you, that was really, really good presentation. Every time I listen to them, it gets better. Yeah, and we have about 103 people, participants in this call right now from all over the world, different areas. You know, Mamadou is from, you know, he came from Sierra Leone, and from Jamaica, and you have people from different countries here. I just want everybody to take note of what it's going to take, the collective effort it's going to take for us to tackle the problem of feeding the hunger. And it is the first time that Jeff and Hana brought this to my attention. I said, whoa, my antenna was just raised when they told me it was 15 to 25 years shelf life. I said, wow. When you can stuff, you know, look at the expiration date on the canned stuff, and you know, just for a while, and you got to throw it out. And here we have something that can last for that long. We don't have to just in a warehouse, in a commercial basis, we can use this technology to feed the world. The other day I was looking at ABC Nightly News, and I saw I saw what was taking place in South Sudan, all the starvation as a result of they had years of drought, and now all of a sudden it'll start to rain, and all the water just came in and just destroy everything, and the kids were all hungry, and the parents were all destitute. You know, they don't know how to feed them, and people from all over the world was looking, and you can just imagine what was taking place not only in South Sudan, but I'm doing some research right now for another project in Somalia, you know, South Sudan, and all these areas in Africa, in the Caribbean, and how impactful this can be to alleviate, eradicate hunger and starvation. And so we're talking about, you know, before you can rescue anybody and close them, you got to feed them first. And that's the reason why I said that this is the foundation. The food and the feeding of people is going to be the foundation for us to move forward in a humanitarian way and take care of all this problem that is besetting the world. And I really appreciate you know, you coming here with all the knowledge and information that you're gathering. And as we move forward, and I hope that we're going to be looking at it on a commercial level now. We step it up. And I know, Jeff, you have you know, access to a lot of land in your area. Yeah. I know you have you know, we can look at setting up big warehouses and to just freeze dry products and store them. And wherever there's a necessity, you know, we ship them there.
Yep.
And so I'm encouraging everybody to pay attention to what's going on here and be a part of this movement. And you know, we're blessed because everybody, in every country is going to be impacted. And if you need to help your country, let's join forward with this project so that we can help alleviate and eradicate the problem of hunger and starvation on a national scale. As Mr. Ash said, that, you know, we need to level the playing field and make the world a better place. So I thank you for coming in again, and looking forward to receiving my packages. And I'm going to be, I'm really looking forward to it and looking forward to working with you guys moving forward in the future. Thank you very much. And Dr. Derek, I appreciate you bringing them on and bringing attention to this group and what they can do for the country. They can just bringing attention to every brand ambassador who are from different parts of the world as to how we can get together in a collective method, in a collective way to take care of our people who are starving. Okay, I thank you very much.
That was awesome. Thank you. You said it all. We appreciate you always. At this time, I would like to call on Brand Ambassador Janine. Please unmute yourself and share with us your excitement or your question.
Oh, thank you so much, everybody. I really, really enjoyed that presentation, you guys. And you know, those of you who know me know that I'm a real out-of-the-box thinker. I would like to suggest that you get this business plan to Ash, and also that you get his engineers working. He wants to do hard products. Get his engineers working on how to do the best freeze dryer. Because I think if this took on, you know, he's come up with so many ideas and so many products already that surpass what already exists on the market. And we certainly don't want to go Bill Gates's way where everybody's eating crickets or genetically modified food. That's not the answer we want. You know, that's very scary to me. Farmers in India committing suicide because they can't use their own seeds, all of that stuff. So, I mean, it's a huge problem. Apparently, Bill Gates has just bought up something like 243 million acres of land that he plans to do something not too wholesome with. But heartily, I suggest, I mean, the inspiration really hit me. Get this idea to Ash. I don't know who has direct access, can get it to him and say, hey, can we come up with a better freeze dryer that works faster or has more capacity and is less expensive on the market to buy? You know, just go for it, guys. Just go for it. It's just such a great idea. And you have my heart in support of this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That I really appreciate it. I never really, I like how you said I'm out of the box thinker. Yeah, I mean, we definitely want to come to Ash, but never thought about maybe, you know, like you said, to, hey, can we make it better and faster and affordable, you know, for a lot of people. That was very good. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna, it's in my head right now. You put that in a box.
Okay, you mentioned how the farmers in India are not being able to use their own seeds and things like that. Can you just imagine going to a farmer in India or a farmer and saying, hey, he's got a field that he's growing. Let's just use peppers, for example, bell peppers. He's got a field of bell peppers. Let's say, hey, we go to that farmer and say, you know what? We take the whole field. Get it picked, get it to our warehouse. We're going to pay you good money for your product. And that's what that's going to do too, is that's going to level the playing field on all this price gouging with in supply and demand. Because now we can go to different farmers in different countries that are growing, you know, their native products and say, hey, you don't got to grow for that guy no more who's ripping you off. You're going to grow for us. And we're going to, and you don't have no more worries now. Your product is secure. It goes from your field to our where it gets picked and goes to our warehouse and then goes into the processing. So that's another avenue that we can level the playing field with. You know, we can meet with farmers, local farmers in local areas and purchase whole fields. You know, and then like you were saying, get with Ash and put a business plan together. So what we probably would need to do would be put together a business plan that consists of the build from the ground up. So what would it take to put this facility in India? What would it take to put this facility in Africa? Have a prepackaged plan ready to go to say, okay, when you pull the plug, they can start construction. This is what the end result's going to be. And it's going to be a facility to go that it's going to take multiple facilities around the world to accomplish what we want to do.
Yeah. And I think Janine, I'm hopefully pronouncing your name right. It's so important what you would just mention, because a lot of people are not aware and they're not fully awakened what is happening to the food industry. And that's why I try to encourage even the 103 people that are here on this call. Just be careful. Just keep your eyes open when you go to grocery store. Watch the labels. Look what's on it. Look what it's coming from. You know, do your research. That's what we can do for now. You know, I've done it. My husband done it. You know, I even tell my children to do that. You know, I teach them how to do that because you're right. We know what's behind things, and there is a lot of the farmlands in U.S. It's gone. We know a lot of the farmers that committed suicide during the COVID because they couldn't make it and they lost everything they had. They just didn't know how to deal with it. So the suicidal part of it, it's all over the place, and it's really heartbreaking because here we are, and we must. And I mean, I tell my husband all the time, I said, we have to preserve the farmers. We have to preserve the generation that works so hard wholeheartedly in what we have left right now, because a lot of people don't want to do the research. A lot of people don't want to be, they want to be blind what's going on. They kind of want to know, but they're just gonna kind of go with what's going on right now. And you know, we don't want to be caught unprepared, if that makes sense. We want to make sure we are prepared. You know, once again, you know, we can go on and go on and go on, but just be encouraged, just to watch your labels and know where your food's coming from. Go to that local farmer. If you have a local farmer near you and he's just selling apples and pears or corn, buy it from him. Give it to him, because they need it. We need to preserve that. If we go, I see it sometimes. I go to Costco and I buy things on a large scale, and then I'm thinking, oh gosh, no, I'm not gonna get it. I'm gonna get it from here. I'm gonna get it from a small local guy over here. I'm gonna go pick strawberries right here. There's a lady 2 miles from us, and she's growing, you know, no pesticides, no nothing. And I rather go there in a season and support her, because I know it's in my backyard. It's 2 miles away. I know it's gonna help in her family and her children, you know, and that's what we wanna do. That's how we're gonna preserve, because farming, it got in such a large scale, but we forget where the original farming came from. It came from small families. Back in times, everybody had land. That's what they owned. And if they didn't grow food, guess what? They didn't have any. And if they didn't grow the food and sell it, they could, let's say the person didn't have a flour or sugar, they have to go and buy it. So we bartered. We do. We barter. I mean, we have something and that person has something. We exchange, we trade. And we got to bring that back. We have to bring it back, because if we don't, it's
So let me give you this little nugget. Us farmers were 2% of the world feeding the other 98%.
Yeah, true.
Let that sink in. When that 2% goes away, what's everybody gonna do? And the last little nugget, train your kids to know what they're eating. My 11-year-old, he goes and he looks, if he goes and gets a bag of candy, he looks on the back, he goes, Daddy, this got red 40 in it, puts it back on the shelf. He won't eat it. You know, I mean, that's just the way she's, you know, you have got to educate your kids on what they're eating.
Yeah.
Yep. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. At this time, we no longer have any hands raised, but if any should come up, I will be sure to call upon them. I would like to pass it over to you, Dr. Derek, at this time.
All right, wonderful, 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 awesome. That was a wonderful session that we definitely had with these two lovely, beautiful individuals, King Jeff and Queen Hana. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Remember, we still have a Jamaica date. Don't think I don't forget, you know. We still have a Jamaica date in October. Remember, you know. All right. Okay. Anyway, but this was a lovely session, and we are going to definitely close off the YouTube. We thank you all that is on the YouTube presently. We really appreciate your presence with us. And we thank you definitely for joining us today in this food preservation with freeze preservation. And we really thank our guests, brand ambassador Queen Hana and Brand Ambassador King Jeff. We thank you very much for joining us on YouTube, and we are going to say so long for now. Thank you very much.